Hey everybody, welcome back. Movie review time, where we geek out about a movie we just saw, and we just saw Bloodshot. This is going to be our spoiler review. We're going to talk all kinds of spoilers in this review. We'll jump all over the place. We might even start at the very end. So if you don't want any spoilers, yeah, this car is it's that weather where it's like you can't have it hot, you can't have it cold. It's just awful. It just sucks and it's muggy. If you want. Yeah, so we're going to spoil things, so we'll give you plenty of warning. I have a few things to say before if you need to jump across the room and click out or whatnot. But I do recommend, whether you want spoilers or not, you go and check out our no spoiler review. That's going to give you a better idea of our general thoughts and opinions. This is just going to be more specific things. Yeah. Also, we don't consider ourselves movie reviewers or critics. We're just geeks that talk about movies. We like going to movies, and it's going to get rough on us here in a little while. We're running out of things to go see. Everything's getting moved. Totally understand why, but it's like, damn it. So, just keep that with a grain of salt. Also, we just saw the movie, so we're still processing our thoughts. Our thoughts and opinions and feelings may change. And, of course, these are just our opinions. It doesn't mean they're right. Doesn't mean they're wrong. Art is subjective. You might feel differently, so you don't need to get terribly angry if you disagree with us. It's fine to disagree with us. You can also check out Patreon. You can check out, you want to check out Stardust, where we do 30-second reactions, reviews, things like that. Or you want to check out my Patreon for as little as $1 a month. You're going to get multiple movie reviews, video game let's plays, fan movie commentaries, a whole lot more. And you can really help support the channel and support my LP vinyl buying habit. See, I still buy vinyls, y'all. It's just a different kind. Yeah, so is that all the things I say?
I think so.
All right, so here comes your warnings. Spoilers.
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 And again, just real quick, I'm very meh on the movie. And the more I talk about it, kind of the less I like it. I'll watch it again. I'll probably enjoy it more. My expectations weren't super high, but I definitely would have thought we'd get more than what we got in the trailers. So, just a quick recap of what my opinions. So why don't you start us out?
Okay, I just want to go straight to the thing I've been wanting to talk about, unless...
Oh, when the aliens invaded?
Yeah. I'm sorry, you kind of took that one down my sails when you... Because I usually do that right after spoilers.
Oh, what did I say right after spoilers? I'm sorry.
Your entire opinion of the movie.
Oh, yeah, you're right. My bad. I screwed it up.
So, fuck the aliens.
They did? I don't remember that. I must have passed out. I don't need them to think I have something that's not allergies.
Okay, so one of the first major fight scenes.
The flower truck.
The flower truck. I saw that. I went, oh, they're going to do... That's going to be a neat trap. And then it didn't happen, because they completely ignored a very, very fundamental fact about flour.
Which is, because I obviously don't know it.
When flour gets airborne, it is highly combustible.
Really?
Yes.
Don't try this at home, kids.
It just takes one spark to ignite, that entire cloud. So I was expecting is this he figures he's more or less indestructible, so he'll just basically blow up the entire tunnel. Because the flour exploding would also cause the gas in the truck to explode, yada, yada, yada.
Wow. Sorry, I actually doubted you, which I know I shouldn't have. I had to Google it. I did. I totally Googled it.
I double-checked before I brought it up.
Oh, okay. All right. Ooh, research. You get a new credit. Yeah, that would have been
So that would have
cool.
been very different. Because as soon as they got the first flare out, I was expecting a big explosion. Didn't happen.
Yeah, that would have been kind of neat. So yeah, the trailers kind of give everything away.
So they clearly were not using flour. I'm wondering if they actually had anything at all, or if it's just smoke.
You mean like the movie production?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they wouldn't use the real shit. Yeah, that'd be a hazard just to breathe and all that as well.
Yeah.
God, what do I want to talk about?
But I was sitting here going it's going to explode. It didn't explode. That's not flour.
Not in real life. But,
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it starts off really cheesy. It felt like Con Air, but without the awesomeness of Nick Cage in the beginning. But that's what I was saying in the no spoilers.
So if he'd had an outrageous Southern accent.
I mean, that's the thing. If you're gonna be cheesy, you gotta fully commit to the cheese. And I would love to see Vin Diesel try to do something other than be Vin Diesel. That would be nice. I am Groot. But again, that's what I was saying is like, at least though, all that cheese in that beginning section from like the murder of his wife and all that stuff, it's explained that like all of that, even the military drills and all of that is the fake memory. So I was like, oh, I think they even had the throwaway line about it. It's a little cheesy, isn't it, or something? I mean, it wasn't exactly the line, but so I was like, okay. And
the dancing and the psycho killers was cheesy enough, I think was the line.
Yeah, that was pretty neat. So again, like the movie starts and I'm kind of like, oh no. But then it's kind of revealed, oh, okay, that makes sense, And then the movie kind of goes like this for a little while, and then you start thinking it's going to get good again and back down, but we'll go through all that. I was very underwhelmed by Guy Pearce in this.
I'm not sure what else I've seen on that.
And I mean, they said, Iron Man 3. He was real Mandarin. Sorry for spoilers for Iron Man 3. He was the one that was making,
Hive? Was he the one?
No, you're thinking of something else. God, what was it called? Well, he was like the inventor that Tony in the 90s disregarded, and then he went off and made
Hammer?
No.
Was it Hammer?
No, that's Hammer Industries.
Okay, so
he made like the stuff that was making people combust.
Oh, starts with an E. I know what you're talking about, though.
Okay. Anyways, you know him from that. LA Confidential, Memento, tons of stuff. He's a fantastic actor.
Oh, have I seen LA Confidential? Is that the one that's told, like, backwards?
No, Memento is.
Okay.
Which is also Christopher Nolan. That's a filmmaker. But anyways, instead of sitting here thinking, what else? I feel like I'm already done. I need some help here. But I barely talked about anything.
But okay, we'll get back to what I got cut for spoilers on.
Okay.
We were talking about the grand scale of things. And
and how the whole plot is just to kill all the people that helped him build the tech that are no longer there. It never has a threat against humanity or, a city or a town even or anything. I get implied.
The thing is, I kind of like... For me, it doesn't always have to be a potentially world-ending or, type thing. I kind of like it when they go... It's actually scaled down, 'cause in some ways that feels more realistic to me.
Which is not exactly what I'm looking for from a comic book movie, which is what this is sold as. If this was sold, it had nothing to do with comics, and I'm just giving my opinion to that.
But
if it was just sold as a dark sci-fi movie, okay, cool, I'm good with that.
But I kind of feel like as an origin story, it's okay to go a little smaller. Because that makes scaling up for sequels easier.
That's lazy. Also, it's not the 2000s anymore. That's what they did in the 2000s. That's why movies weren't that accurate to the source material. Now we get movies that are accurate to the source material, which...
But the thing is, we don't know how accurate this is to the source material because neither one of us know the source material.
I was going to continue on to explain some of that. I was derailed. It's not accurate... We get movies now that are accurate to the source material. I don't know how accurate to the source material this is, but it's like that review title I accidentally saw. It's like, this thing is afraid to be a comic book movie. It really is afraid. Like, every time it starts getting a little bit comic booky, it's like, nah. Like Vin Diesel, I've seen Bloodshot. I've seen plenty of panels. He is gray. And yes, they did kind of the warm red thing, but in the movie, Vin Diesel looks like Vin Diesel the entire fucking time. There's maybe 5 minutes, and I might be being generous, of the movie where he looks like the comic book character Bloodshot. And of course it's at the end. And it's that origin story fatigue. And I understand this is a whole new comic universe. So I'm like, okay, you've got to have some origin story here, because part of what makes Valiant interesting is they do different things with their superheroes than we've seen in DC and Marvel. So I'm fine with it being a bit more of an origin story than I would be if we get another Marvel origin story, that's not told in an interesting way, even without now knowing the source material. But see, for a comic book movie, I need that bigger, grandiose, I need some kind of grand threat, and there was nothing really threatening in this. Like, once it's over, it's just kind of over, and I don't know, it just really didn't work for me, and my expectations weren't super high, but I don't know. I don't know that I have specifics. I'm trying to remember things in the movie and things like I felt about it, but
I kind of think that the larger stakes were that basically once all the hits were done, then the Guy Pearce character was going to be the one who had knowledge of how to make everything. He was going to be the only person who knows how to make this stuff.
That's implied, but what could have just easily... Well, okay, you did it to me, but go ahead.
What I was going to say is then the implied thing is that he starts marketing it massively, and then you get a bunch of a-holes that you basically have.
Well, then
regular
tell me that a little bit. Just give me a line about it or something.
He did.
Nothing really stood out. There was nothing in there that gave me any indication of what his intention was with this technology, other than to be the only one that has it. As soon as these
loose ends are tied up, I'm going to start selling this. So, basically...
So then that's his villainous plan is, I don't want anybody else to make money off this idea, so I'm going to kill the other people that helped me create it. That's not... it's a decent sci-fi plot. It's not a great horror... It's not a great comic book villain plot. It's so basic.
Yeah, but basically... Yes, he'd be selling the stuff to the highest bidder, but then he'd also theoretically be able to probably have a backdoor control everything. He'd probably do Order 66.
That sounds like a way more interesting movie. Why not have that be the back half of this movie? They could have done everything they did in this movie in the front half of this movie, and then the back half actually be him selling it to a seller. Or maybe even then the seller turns out to be the big threat, and again, you get another big twist there. That's what I'm not liking about this movie, is it feels like it's only halfway to what it needed to be in terms of telling me a story. I guess that's where I'm getting at with the grandiose when I kept saying I need it to be bigger and grander for a comic book movie in terms of its storytelling scale. Is that it doesn't have that. And you're right. He kind of half vaguely says that, but that's the thing. It's like, oh, it's just, so I'm the only one that can sell this product. That doesn't seem very supervillainy to me. And I guess, I don't know. He wasn't really supposed to be a supervillain, although they give him a supervillain robotic arm that, it turns things off and it can punch a dent in the table. It's about all they did with it. It didn't do a whole lot more than that.
There's a lot of people who would go like, I would like to have that prosthetic, please.
Well, yeah, but that's a totally different thing. That has nothing to do with it. Is this a good movie or not? Hell, I'd like to have that prosthetic. I'm not above being a cyborg. No,
you still have your arms. I'd rather you have your regular arms.
I know. I'm just saying. I would be okay with. I would if I had the choice of a robot arm. I'm not opposed to having a robot arm.
I have to say, actually, the guy who was blind probably had the neatest upgrade.
Yeah, and he was also really undercooked too because they couldn't decide. Like they were trying to sell him as. He was trying to get the douchebag guy who's like probably the best of the villains because you actually did hate him. Yeah. But they had moments where he was like, hey man, maybe be a little nicer or whatever. And like you kind of felt like the blind guy was like, he might be the one that would do like the opposite of a heel turn. I can't think of what that is. Where he would be like, you know what? No, this is wrong. I'm going to turn around. But then by the end, he's just a generic. I think heel turn is when you go heel. Yeah, I don't know if it maybe it goes both ways, but you get the point of what I'm saying, so I'm moving on.
Well, the thing is, I think he was that borderline. He was kind of in the same boat as KT. It's just that she was strong enough to act on it, whereas he's kind of like, oh, God.
But I feel like he was just underwritten. Like, they just kind of like, we'll give him a little bit of personality, we'll give him a little bit of these things, and then, we're done with them. So it's like, oh. Okay, because you're right. He had some of the coolest tech and all the coolest stuff, and like shooting the drones. I mean, he did some kind of cool stuff, but he felt generic and forgettable. Like when you in a year, if you think back on this movie, you're probably not going to remember that character. If anything, you're going to be like, oh yeah, there was a
year. That's a bigger question.
Well, that's also a point. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I'm not like trying to be Marvel fanboy because I like a lot of the DC movies. I like the DC characters better than Marvel characters when it comes to the comics. But I do love the Marvel movies, and I do feel for me that's more what I want out of my comic book movies these days. But it's been years since you've seen most of those, but you probably remember most of those.
Yeah, except for apparently the last couple of Iron Man movies.
A lot of people don't remember the last couple of Iron Man movies, or at least they're blobbed together. But that was also early Marvel too. So, but I mean, I think that's kind of my point. Is I think this movie is really forgettable.
Was that the name of the?
That's or you're very, very close, very, very close. But yeah, and I think that's a good point. I think this movie is sadly rather forgettable. And again, and this maybe is where my expectations came in, is this is supposed to be the launching point for a Valiant Comics universe. And I'm like, can we get to a Faith movie? Because I think that would be so freaking cool. And I'm like, oof, this is where we're starting. This is going to be a rough go of it. I mean, in a lot of ways, it's kind of like Venom, where except Venom had a great performance and an okay movie. this feels like okay performances in an okay movie. So I mean, I think that's kind of where I'm coming from, and I'm aggravated by that, I think.
Yeah.
And I think that's why I feel like I'm coming across more negative than I think I am. But I'm not angry, I'm just really disappointed. I think that's the way to sum it up.
Honestly, I think, judging by some of the production companies involved, at least one or two of them are very Chinese.
Well, I mean, that's just the way. We're making movies globally now. That's fine. I'm good with that.
But what that tells me is, depending on how it does overseas, will probably largely dictate.
Ooh, then it got screwed.
Yeah.
More than at least some of these other movies are having a chance to delay. But yeah.
I think on some of this stuff, they'll have to go with how well it does when it gets released to video.
I think some of these movies, hopefully, is just the numbers people are going to cut it some slack and be like, you know what? There was a situation that really hindered this. But yeah, we'll see where it goes. The hacker dude, he's probably the best character in the whole movie. Wiggins, yeah.
Yes.
A lot more screen time, a lot more dialogue for him. He was the liveliest part of this whole thing. KT.
Yeah, there's a lot of Brits in this movie.
and everybody's really kind of just bland and generic. KT was bland and generic. She breathes down here, but you often heard her breathing through her mouth and nose, which I thought was an odd choice.
I liked her tattoos.
I didn't even notice the tattoos, but I don't really pay attention to tattoos. I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with it. I'm just saying I don't pay attention to tattoos.
But no, yeah, Wiggins hands down is a scene stealer.
Yeah, he's definitely the best. They could have used more of him. I would have liked more interplay with him and Bloodshot, but I don't know if Vin could pull off the banter I'm looking for. And physically, and like he this would be wrong casting, but follow me on where I'm going. Okay. Like I did have the thought, what if this was The Rock instead of Vin Diesel? Now, physically, he's not really right for it and all that stuff. I'm really just thinking of that charisma and charm The Rock has. Like if you had some of that in the character.
Yeah, but Bloodshot, just based on the pictures I've seen.
I was gonna make a point on this, but I think you're going the same place.
He doesn't look particularly charismatic.
Which is also why Vin is wrong, because then Vin has enough charisma to make him just charming enough to not feel like a cold robot, if that's what the comic character's supposed to be. But what I was getting at is with the interplay with Wiggins and Ray, I would have liked more of that Rock-like charm.
Ray? That was the character's name. I'm sorry. Yeah. I've been calling him Vin Diesel the entire time. I forgot.
Point being, that chemistry. Like, I would have liked to have seen some of that kind of chemistry. And I think of The Rock in terms of his charm and going back and forth with somebody. I think his kind of back and forth with a Wiggins could have been great. But I don't know if that fits the character or not either, so...
Yeah, it'd be helpful if we actually knew the comic.
Yes and no, because at the same time, this is a movie. It's its own format. Most of the people that are going to see this movie don't even know it's based on a comic. And it needs to stand up on its own two legs in that regard. So even if you take all that comic book stuff out of it, I probably like it a little bit more, but then I still think it's a fairly generic movie. I've seen these kind of stories and plots before. I watch a lot of, hard sci-fi that doesn't get a lot of notice around people. So, like, I've seen this stuff before. I was just hoping it being from a comic was going to bring more to it, but,
Must have crashed around them.
No, I figured because it's kind of warm.
Oh, hopefully it's not raining into the garage. Anywho.
We should probably... I think we've talked about the movie for, like, 5 minutes out of 18. I'm trying to think of anything else. The final fight was a little underwhelming. That's where you definitely see that it's CG body doubles.
Oh, yeah. Well, some of those moves, that was going to be the only way you really could do it.
Yeah, but I mean, if you can't do it right, don't do it.
Yeah.
I mean, again, that's being super hardcore film elitist. You play to what you can do.
Doc Ock tech.
Yeah, and again, I feel like that stuff, those characters are probably out of the comics.
Yeah.
But I also bet you they've been, like, grayscaled, for lack of a better term. Let's see. Bloodshot comic.
Tibbs was the eyes guy. Trying to remember, Dalton or Dylan was the other one.
Bloodshot characters from GameSpot. All right, Bloodshot. It's Alcott.
I think that was the guy running the company.
No, because that's a MI6 person.
Oh, okay.
Jillian Alcott, that's not.
Nope.
She's not in there. Malcolm. I don't think he's supposed to be in there. Cabroni. A lot of gangster types. Sinclair. Eternal Warrior. Laws. That guy looks cool. Yoshi. Ninjak. That's actually, I think there's supposed to be a series of him coming. Oh, Proteus looks cool. Rampage looks cool. Tanaka. Thomas Morgan. Jeff McHenry looks goofy. Ooh, Immortal Enemy looks great. Where are all these people in this movie? Iwatsa. Mach.
Like Mach 5.
Okay. Tank. Uzi. That guy looks awesome. Like, this is like text. These are like comic characters. Why Lady Diana? Why are none of these people in the movie? Axe even looks interesting. He looks like a cool version of a young Howard Stern. Cinder.
Yeah.
Glider.
Yeah.
Ooh, Dr. Silk. Have Dr. Silk in the goddamn movie. Bear. Yeah, I'm okay. Maybe those characters weren't. I mean, there's a lot of characters here. Papa Juju. There's another page.
Yeah.
Sonar. Oh, she looks cool. Oyama. Rai.
Yeah, but just...
All of Emperor. Damn.
I don't know if this is like order of appearance or order of importance, but...
Yeah, I know. I obviously, we're just looking at a random article. Solar. Tex. Shakespeare. Flatline.
But
Phase.
Nothing here is really reflecting what we saw in the movie, so...
Yeah, so again, to hark back to that headline, I guess, it's afraid to be a superhero movie.
I think it's afraid to be a Bloodshot movie.
Yeah, apparently, looking at that. We should have researched the origin before I rolled, actually, I guess, but...
Because it's one of those things, it's like, okay, when you don't see any of the characters that you just saw in the movie, then that makes me think that it's like, why are we calling this Bloodshot?
Right, other than the character. So is that what they did? Let's see. So he was created by Ryder. Okay, that's Ryder. That's originally appearing in the page of Eternal Warrior. Cooking his own series in '93. So he's been around since 1993, the Bloodshot character.
Okay.
I keep scrolling and it keeps loading it lower down. So let's see. Okay, here we go. His body was engineered with a secret government organization, Project Rising Spirit.
Okay, well, Rising Spirit was the name of the company.
Right, but it wasn't a secret government organization.
As far as we know.
Okay, the process gave him his powers, made him lose his memories.
Okay.
A little bit. Implanted false memories to manipulate and motivate him. Okay, that's good. He eventually breaks free.
Yeah. And
then is attempting to atone for his sins, so... I mean, I guess it was kind of accurate in that regard. I don't know if there's anything about nanobots or any of that stuff. Probably not if this was 93. I don't know if they were talking about that kind of stuff there.
Nanotech the idea of nanotech was around back then, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, so, but yeah, like, I don't know, man. It just didn't seem... I don't know. It was what it was. I hope some of y'all saw it, and I hope y'all fucking loved it and had a better time than I did. Because I didn't have a bad time. I was just, like I said, not angry. Just disappointed. Underwhelmed, yeah. I came out very meh.
I was whelmed.
Yeah, not over, not under. Yeah. We should have saw Emma. It would have been much better, probably.
Oh, we can see that next week.
Maybe Vin Diesel and Emma? As the main character, Emma? Wearing the dresses and everything. That's what I want to see. But like totally serious. Like, you know, not making fun of a man in a dress or anything. Just, it's more the idea of Vin Diesel trying to do like that Elizabethan dialogue and vibe. Yeah, Vin Diesel playing a proper lady.
Somehow I see The Rock doing that better.
He would be more likely to do it. I think Vin Diesel very much. I know everybody. He's got that Pitbull vibe. Vin Diesel, and maybe I'm wrong. I'm just projecting, but I get the vibe. He's one of those dudes that is overprotective about his image. He has to maintain a certain image and a certain look, and I'm surprised he was an executive producer on this, because it reeked of like, I only do the movie if there's got to be a shot where I do this, and I got to do this hero thing. And
I do kind of wonder if he's like, I am not going to be gray for most of this movie.
I get the vibe. Could be wrong. No disrespect.
It's like I'm not wearing paint the entire movie, and we don't have the budget to make him gray the entire movie.
Right.
So,
well, yeah. So yeah, I think that I
kind of have a feeling that's what happened.
Yeah. So again, as much as I love him in the right roles, this might not have been the right role. I'm pretty sure they're just like, he looks like Bloodshot. Which honestly, when I look back on it, I'm like, I don't know. There's other people that could have looked like Bloodshot. Ooh, you know who would have been really good in that role? Luke Evans.
You have to remind me who that is.
Well, Gaston is like the first thing that popped into my brain.
Okay, I think I vaguely. He was in the Hobbit movies, wasn't he?
Yeah. He was definitely one of the dwarves. There you go. I mean, you know, you have to.
No, he was one of the.
Like, look at that.
He was a human in the movie in Hobbit. Maybe he was at the.
Oh yeah, you're right. Yeah. He was the one with the dragon and all that stuff. Mm-hmm. But I mean, yeah. Shave the sides a little bit there, get rid of a little bit of the scruff, paint him gray. He looks more like what I was seeing.
Maybe, yeah.
You know, in the actual comic images. And he's an actual actor. All right. Enough pooping on the man, Vin. I'm sorry. I'm not gonna blame Vin Diesel. It's not his fault, I don't think. Any more than we project, anyways. But I hope, like I said, I hope you fucking loved it. It didn't work for me. So.
Yeah, you know, dumb fun. Watch on your plane or whatever. Oh, wait a minute, nobody's flying anymore.
Well, actually, I just got the Delta letter about, hey, if you're not in emergency, if you don't need to travel for emergencies in the next 72 hours, do you mind canceling anything you're doing? They're like, we need to just move certain people for the next few days. Like, all right, thought y'all were hurting for money, but all right. Anyways, yeah, it's a clusterfuck. It's an understandable clusterfuck, but, well, I mean, to a degree, but we're not, that's not what we're here for. We're here to take your mind off that shit, hopefully.
Anywho.
I guess.
I should make a 25-minute video.
Yeah, and we didn't even take a commercial break because I thought we'd be done sooner. So I guess we might do an Emma review next week. And then, after that, we will do Mulan. Oh, wait.
No, that got
And then after that, we'll do James Bond. Oh,
that got moved.
Wait. And then in May, we'll do Fast and Furious. Oh,
nope.
Wait. And that one got moved a year, too. That sucks. I finally got her to watch the first Fast and the Furious movie. And now it's like, oh, shit, now we can't even do the marathon.
We can.
Well, no, because I want to watch it. I want to revisit all those movies leading up to the new movie is the plan for me. So
you're going to make me rewatch the first one again a year from now?
No, you'll forget it by then anyways. No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
Do you think I'm your dad?
Oh, snap. I learned it from him. So I can enjoy movies over and over. All right. Anyways, comment below. Let us know. Disagree, agree. I don't know. Whatever you want to say.
Do the thing. Thumbs up, comment. Yeah.
Apparently I'm tired. I shouldn't have made like 20 videos yesterday. I'm wiped out. I'm tired of making videos right now.
Anyways, can we wrap this video up?
Oh, is it not over? Did I not finish? I thought you finished it.
Okay.
No, I'm just, okay, comment
thanks,
below.
Bye.
That's your sign off. Okay, thanks, bye. Click the thumbs up button. Give us the thumb of encouragement. We do love to be encouraged. Check out the Stardust app. Check out my Patreon. Support me with that $1 a month. Make me happy. Dollar bills, y'all. The fuck. And I said that. All right, we're going to get out of here. We'll watch some more stuff, hopefully. We'll see you all
later.